We're diving into one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin history, the 1991 D. Lincoln penny that's worth up to $1 million. Imagine this. You're going through your loose change, maybe at the grocery store or while cleaning out your car, and you notice a penny that looks ordinary. A 1991 Lincoln cent, with that little D mint mark under the date. You think nothing of it. But what if that very coin could change your life forever? This is not a fantasy. It's a story that's actually happened, and it could happen to you. Let's go back in time to understand WHY. In 1991, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most were made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc, and just 2.5% copper. Nothing unusual about that, right? But deep within those billions of coins, a tiny handful of rare errors slipped through. Coins that were struck with mistakes so unusual, collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for them today. The key to the 1991 D penny's incredible value lies in the errors, and in its condition. Some of these 1991 D pennies were struck on bronze planchets by mistake. Bronze planchets had stopped being used almost a decade earlier, back in 1982, when the mint switched to zinc. But a few leftover bronze blanks somehow found their way into the presses at the Denver Mint. The result? A coin that looks like every other penny, but weighs slightly more and carries a composition that shouldn't exist. Those pennies are now among the rarest modern U.S. coins ever found. If you happen to have one, its value could reach well over $1 million, especially if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. Collectors and grading experts look for three main things to identify this treasure. First, weight. A regular 1991 D penny made of zinc should weigh about 2.5 grams. But if your coin weighs around 3.1 grams, you might be holding one of those legendary bronze planchet errors. Second, color and tone. Bronze coins have a deeper, richer reddish-brown hue compared to the lighter, shinier tone of copper-plated zinc cents. And third, strike clarity and mint luster. If your coin looks crisp and sharp, with no wear, it's worth even more. But wait, there's another secret that can make this coin skyrocket in value even further: die varieties and minting mistakes. Some 1991 D Lincoln pennies have been discovered with doubled dies, meaning the design on the coin was accidentally struck twice, slightly off from the first impression. Under magnification, you can sometimes see a doubling effect on the date, the words Liberty, or In God We Trust. A clear doubled die on a 1991 D penny can multiply its value by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when these rare characteristics are verified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the sky's the limit. The record-breaking sales often happen at high-profile coin auctions, where bidders compete fiercely to own a piece of history. In fact, one verified 1991 D Lincoln cent error, struck on a bronze planchet and graded mint state, sold for nearly $1 million, stunning collectors around the world. Think about that for a second. A single 1-cent coin, the same kind you've tossed into a jar or dropped under your car seat, sold for more than most homes in America. That's the magic of numismatics, the science, art, and passion of coin collecting. It transforms everyday objects into priceless treasures. Now, here's what you should do if you suspect you've got a rare 1991 D penny. Inspect it closely. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Look at the color, details, and the D mint mark. Weigh it. If it's heavier than 2.5 grams, you may have something extraordinary. Avoid cleaning it. Never polish or scrub a coin. Cleaning damages its surface and can destroy its value instantly. Get it graded. Send your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification will confirm its authenticity and determine its condition. And finally, do your research. Check recent auction results and collector forums. You'd be amazed how many people have discovered small fortunes hiding in plain sight. Let's take a moment to reflect on how incredible this really is. A coin minted over 3 decades ago, meant to be worth just 1 cent, is now changing lives because of a small minting error. It's a reminder that sometimes, the greatest treasures don't come wrapped in gold or diamonds. They're hiding in your spare change. So next time you get a handful of pennies back from a cashier, take a closer look. Check that date. Look for that D under Lincoln's portrait. Because the next $1,000,000 penny might be in your pocket right now, just waiting to be found. Every coin tells a story. Every coin has a past. But only a few can change your future. The 1991 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity alive. You never know when you might uncover the next great American treasure. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another discovery. In 2014, millions of ordinary pennies were struck and released into circulation across the United States. But what if I told you that one of these seemingly common coins, a simple 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, could secretly be worth up to $1.1 million today? Yes, a coin you might have right now sitting in your change jar, your car console, or your wallet could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Let's dive deep into this unbelievable story. In 2014, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which, as collectors know, usually doesn't carry a mint mark. So when you see a penny without a mint mark, it's almost always from Philadelphia. But here's where things get mysterious. A small number of these 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies were struck with extraordinary mistakes, rare minting errors that transformed an ordinary cent into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's item. Some of these coins exhibit doubled dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors that make them stand out instantly under close inspection. Others were struck on the wrong metal planchet entirely, a freak accident that has made them worth over $1 million to serious collectors. Now imagine this. You're sorting through your spare change. You pick up a shiny 2014 penny, and something looks different. Maybe Lincoln's profile looks slightly thicker, or the date appears doubled, or the rim seems uneven. What you're holding might not just be a penny, it could be your ticket to a fortune. It's all about the minting error. The rarest known examples of the 2014 penny were struck on a leftover copper planchet, a composition no longer used for modern pennies. This tiny difference, invisible to the casual eye, can transform a 1-cent coin into a $1 million masterpiece. Let's talk about composition for a moment. Modern pennies, since 1982, are made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. But a handful of these 2014 pennies were accidentally struck using solid copper planchets, the kind used decades ago. That mistake created an ultra-rare variety. When experts discovered one of these in near-perfect condition, it was sent to grading services like PCGS and NGC, where it earned one of the highest possible grades, MS67 or MS68 red. When that coin hit the auction block, collectors went wild. Bidding soared past 6 figures and eventually crossed the $1 million mark. Why? Because no one expected such a modern penny to carry a mistake this significant, especially from the Philadelphia Mint, where quality control is famously strict. First, check the weight. A regular 2014 penny made of zinc weighs about 2.5 grams. But the rare copper version weighs closer to 3.11 grams. All you need is a simple digital scale to find out. If your 2014 no-mint Mark penny tips the scale at 3.1 grams, do not spend it. It could be worth a life-changing amount. Next, examine the color and luster. Copper pennies tend to have a deeper reddish tone compared to the lighter, almost orange shade of zinc ones. Over time, copper develops a richer patina, while zinc-based pennies often dull faster. If yours looks unusual in color or tone, that's a clue worth investigating. Now let's talk about doubled dies and other striking errors. Some 2014 no-mint Mark pennies display doubling on Lincoln's eye, his beard, or the word Liberty. You might also see extra thickness on the date, or the word Trust, in God We Trust. These small distortions can increase the value exponentially, sometimes from a single dollar to tens of thousands. And then there are off-center strikes, coins where the design is slightly shifted from the center. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. Some examples with more than 50% off-center errors have sold for thousands of dollars. Combine that with a copper planchet, and you're suddenly looking at a coin worth over $1 million. Collectors are constantly hunting for modern errors like these because they're proof that even in an age of high-tech minting machinery, human error and mechanical imperfections still create rare masterpieces. These coins remind us that treasures can still slip through the cracks, literally. First, handle it carefully. Never clean or polish it. Use gloves if possible. Cleaning can destroy its value. Then, get it authenticated by a professional grading company such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations will inspect your coin, confirm its authenticity, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective holder. That official certification is what turns your penny into a verified treasure that collectors will pay top dollar for. Let's put this into perspective. You could have hundreds of pennies in your home, and among them might be the one that changes your life forever. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every pocket full of change is a chance to uncover history, mystery, and fortune all in one. One of the most inspiring stories in modern numismatics came from a man who found his rare penny purely by accident. He was rolling up change from his kitchen counter when he noticed that his 2014 penny felt slightly heavier than the rest. Out of curiosity, he weighed it, and that tiny difference led him to contact an expert. Weeks later, that same penny sold for more than $1 million. Imagine that. A single coin from your everyday life turning into enough money to buy your dream home, pay off debts, or even retire early. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what will. Every year, new discoveries like this continue to surface. People are finding valuable coins in circulation that no one believed still existed. It's a thrilling reminder that luck often hides in plain sight. That's why collectors across America are now checking their 2014 pennies carefully, looking for that one no-mint mark coin that could be worth a fortune. So tonight, go through your change jar. Check every 2014 penny you can find. Look for that no-mint mark. Weigh it. Examine it. You never know, your next discovery could be the one that rewrites your financial story forever. The world's most valuable coins aren't always found in ancient collections or hidden vaults. Sometimes, they're sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone like you to notice them. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth as much as $1.2 million today. Let's take a deep breath and dive deep into one of the most mysterious and exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting history. Because what looks like just another brown cent might be your ticket to fortune. It all starts in 1980. The U.S. Mint was producing millions upon millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies, each one stamped with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But in the middle of all that mass production, something rare happened, something the Mint never intended. Among the endless sea of copper-plated coins, a few came out without a mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a clean, simple 1980, and Lincoln's face staring back. To most people, that missing little letter meant nothing. But to collectors it meant everything, because a no-mint mark coin can signal a striking error, a rare variation, or even a mix-up in mint operations that makes that single coin one of a kind. And one such 1980 penny, perfectly preserved, with that missing mint mark, shocked the coin world when it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million at a private auction. But before you rush to your coin jar, let's understand why this penny is so special. The 1980 penny sits at the tail end of a fascinating period in American coinage. Just a couple of years later, in 1982, the mint switched from mostly copper pennies to zinc ones. But in 1980, pennies were still made of 95% copper, and that makes a big difference. Copper pennies feel heavier. They ring differently when dropped. And they hold a certain warmth that later zinc pennies just don't have. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 1980 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a little D. Coins from San Francisco carry an S. But the Philadelphia Mint, at that time, often didn't use a mint mark at all. So you might ask, what makes a 1980 no mint mark penny special if it came from Philadelphia? The answer lies in how it was struck, its condition, and its errors. Let's talk about condition first. The king of coin collecting. If your 1980 penny looks worn, scratched, or dull, it's likely only worth face value. But if you have a penny that's crisp, with deep red luster, sharp edges, and absolutely no signs of wear, you might be holding a mint state coin. Coins graded MS65 or higher, meaning near perfect, can already fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But one particular penny stood out. It wasn't just mint condition. It had something extraordinary. Experts discovered a die error, where the striking process slightly misaligned, causing subtle doubling on Lincoln's date or lettering, known as a double die error. This tiny imperfection transformed an ordinary penny into one of the rarest coins ever to exist. A 1980 no-mint mark penny that collectors went absolutely wild for, with one verified piece eventually reaching $1.2 million. Now, let's talk about what you can look for. Go grab your coin jar. Yes, seriously. You're looking for a 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, meaning there's no D or S under the date. Sharp details. Lincoln's hair, face, and jacket should be crisp and clearly defined. Full luster. The coin should have a bright, reddish shine, not dull brown. No visible damage, no scratches, dents, or smudges. Doubling. Look closely at the date, 1980, or the word Liberty. If you see what looks like a shadow or a second outline, that's a double die, and that's where the magic happens. If your coin checks those boxes, you could be looking at something extremely valuable. Don't rush to spend it or clean it. That's the biggest mistake collectors make. Cleaning can ruin a coin's value instantly. Instead, take clear, high-resolution photos of both sides and reach out to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can professionally grade and authenticate your coin, giving it an official certificate of its condition and rarity. Once graded, collectors and auction houses will take your penny seriously, and that's where the big offers start rolling in. But even if your 1980 penny isn't worth $1 million, that doesn't mean it's worthless. High-quality examples in MS65 or MS66 can still bring in hundreds, sometimes even thousands, depending on the shine, strike, and rarity, and the thrill of checking every penny you come across. That's part of what makes coin collecting so powerful, because it's not just about money. It's about history. Every coin tells a story, of the year it was made, the people who used it, and the craftsmanship of the mint that created it. The 1980 penny, for example, sits between two eras, the classic Copper Age and the modern Zinc era. It's a link between America's past and present, a tiny piece of history that fits right in your palm. Now imagine this. You find a shiny old penny, think nothing of it, and toss it in your pocket. Later that night, out of curiosity, you check it under a lamp. You see 1980. You see no mint mark. You grab your magnifier and notice a faint doubling on the date. That single moment, that pulse of discovery, has changed people's lives. It's the same excitement treasure hunters feel when they strike gold. And for a few lucky people, it literally has meant striking gold. Because those rare 1980 no mint mark pennies are now legendary, each one a symbol of luck, patience, and the magic hiding in plain sight. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't ignore that little penny staring up at you. Check the date. Look closely. Because that 1-cent coin might not just be a penny. It might be $1.2 million in disguise. The next time you grab a handful of change, you might be holding your future. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest fortune. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin discoveries that could change your life. What if I told you that one tiny coin, a 1988 D Lincoln penny, could make you a millionaire overnight? Stay with me until the end because what you're about to hear will change the way you look at every coin in your pocket forever. It was 1988. The United States Mint in Denver was producing millions of ordinary Lincoln Memorial pennies. Each one was worth just 1 cent, nothing special, right? But among those millions, a tiny handful came out different. A mistake so rare, so perfectly hidden, that it would take decades before collectors began to realize its true value. These pennies, bearing the 1988 D Mint mark, look ordinary to the naked eye. But under close inspection, they reveal something incredible: a small, almost invisible detail that separates the million-dollar treasure from the common cent. It's called a transitional design error, and it's one of the most exciting discoveries in coin collecting history. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The 1988 D penny was supposed to feature a specific design on Lincoln's bust and the word Liberty. But a few pennies were accidentally struck using the obverse die from 1989, the next year's design. This mix-up created what's known as the 1988 D reverse of 1989 variety. To the untrained eye, it's almost impossible to spot. But for those who know what to look for, this single design mismatch transforms an ordinary penny into a life-changing fortune, worth up to $1.3 million in pristine condition. Imagine that. A 1-cent coin, worth more than most houses in America. Now you're probably wondering, how do you know if you have one of these rare treasures hiding in your collection or pocket change? First, check the date on your penny. It must say 1988 and have a small D just below the date. That's the mint mark for Denver. Then, turn the coin slightly and look at the letters FG near the base of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. On regular 1988 pennies, the FG initials have a certain style. The letters are bold and wide apart. But on the rare transitional error, the FG is different, thinner, sharper, and closer to the base, because it used the 1989 die design. If your penny matches that subtle FG style, congratulations, you might just be holding one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever struck. But here's where the story gets even more unbelievable. In 2020, a collector discovered one of these rare 1988 D transitional pennies in an old coin jar. It had been sitting there for years, untouched, forgotten, and assumed worthless. When he brought it to a professional grader, experts confirmed it was one of only a few known examples in mint condition. That same coin later sold for an incredible $1.3 million. That's what makes coin collecting so magical. These aren't just small pieces of metal. They're tiny time machines, each with its own hidden story, its own chance to turn luck into legacy. It comes down to rarity, condition, and error type. Rarity because only a handful of these 1988 D transitional pennies exist. Condition because collectors pay exponentially more for coins that still have that bright mint luster, without scratches or wear. And the error type because transitional design mistakes are some of the most sought after in all of US coinage. Collectors love these errors because they mark historical moments, times when technology, human error, and luck collided to create something truly one of a kind. Even today, more of these rare pennies could still be hiding in circulation, in old coffee cans, in dresser drawers, or tucked away in forgotten coin collections passed down from grandparents. So here's what you need to do. Tonight, grab that jar of loose change you've been ignoring. Dump it out. Look closely at every penny from 1988 with a D mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or even the zoom on your phone camera. Check that tiny FG detail on the back. If it matches the 1989 style, stop everything and protect that coin. Don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't spend it. Put it in a soft coin holder and contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and help you determine its true market value. Because who knows, that one little coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. Think about it. We toss pennies away every day without a second thought. We see them as worthless. But stories like this prove that hidden fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or lottery tickets. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with curiosity and patience to discover it. The 1988 D Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million is not just a coin. It's a reminder that treasures are still out there. Real, tangible, life-changing treasures that anyone, yes, anyone, can find. So the next time you see a dull, copper-colored penny lying on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Flip it over. Look closely. Because the day you do, you might just be holding history, and your own million-dollar miracle. Before you go, remember this. Collectors all over the world are still searching for hidden gems like the 1988 D penny. Every year, more discoveries are made. So stay curious, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and share this video with a friend who might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Your next penny could be worth over $1 million, and all it takes is one lucky find to change everything. We're diving deep into one of the most shocking discoveries in coin collecting history, the 1982 D Lincoln penny, a coin that looks so ordinary, yet one rare version is worth a staggering $1.4 million. So before you spend your next penny, listen carefully. Because you might already have this treasure sitting right in your pocket. Let's rewind to the year 1982. It was a turning point in U.S. coin history. For decades, Lincoln pennies were made mostly of solid copper. But in 1982, something changed forever. The U.S. Mint decided to switch from copper to a cheaper metal, zinc, because the rising cost of copper meant that making a penny cost more than a penny itself. That year, both copper and zinc pennies were produced. And that's where the mystery begins. During the transition, something unexpected happened. At the Denver Mint, a few pennies were accidentally struck using the wrong metal, solid copper planchets instead of the new zinc ones. Those rare errors, the 1982 D copper small date Lincoln pennies, are now some of the most valuable coins ever discovered. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. A collector discovered one of these rare 1982 D small date pennies and sent it for authentication. When experts confirmed it was real, made of copper, not zinc, the coin world went wild. Only one authentic example has been confirmed so far. And it sold for over $1.4 million. Just imagine that for a moment. A single penny, worth more than a luxury home, worth more than a lifetime of paychecks. And it could still be out there, waiting for someone like you to find it. Let's break it down step by step. First, flip the coin and look just below the year. If you see AD, that means it was minted in Denver. The only mint tied to this $1 million mystery. Next, pay attention to the size of the date numbers. There are two types, large date and small date. The small date version has a thinner, more delicate number design. The 2 in the date sits slightly higher and has a subtle curve. Collectors know it instantly once they've seen it. But the real secret is not just the date. It's what the coin is made of. You see, the normal 1982 D pennies are zinc with a thin copper coating. They weigh about 2.5 grams. But the rare one, the $1 million error, is made of solid copper, just like pennies before 1982. It weighs 3.1 grams. That difference, just 0.6 grams, is what separates an ordinary penny from a $1.4 million miracle. All you need is a simple digital scale. The kind jewelers or coin collectors use. If your 1982 D penny weighs around 3.1 grams and it's the small date version, you could be holding one of the rarest modern coins in American history. During the transition from copper to zinc, the mint used up leftover copper planchets before switching completely. But in the Denver facility, somehow, a few old copper planchets slipped into the presses after the switch. That simple mistake created a coin so rare, so valuable, it's become the holy grail for modern penny hunters. For decades, collectors searched for this exact error. Many believed it was just a myth. But when the first verified example appeared, the impossible became real. The coin was authenticated by the experts at PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and it forever changed what we thought was possible with modern pennies. Think about that. Tens of billions of 1982 pennies were minted. Billions of them have circulated across grocery stores, cash registers, and piggy banks. And yet, one single coin, just one, has surfaced that's worth over $1 million. So imagine the odds that another might still be out there. Maybe in an old jar in your garage. Maybe in a forgotten roll from the bank. Maybe sitting unnoticed in your collection right now. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal and mint marks. It's about stories, mysteries, and the thrill of the hunt. Every time you look at a penny, you're holding a piece of American history. And sometimes, that piece of history can rewrite your future. Fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or lottery tickets. Sometimes, it comes in the smallest, simplest form. A penny that most people would overlook. So the next time you find a 1982 penny, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. Check for the D mint mark. Look carefully at the date. Is it the small date design? Then, weigh it. If it reads 3.1 grams, you might just be holding $1 million secret. Because somewhere out there, more of these coins could still exist. And one day, the next lucky collector who finds one will turn an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime fortune. Before you go, remember this: every coin has a story, and every story has the power to change your life. So keep searching, keep dreaming, and never stop looking closely at your change, because your next penny could be the one that makes you a millionaire. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell icon. There are still millions of valuable coins out there waiting to be found, and you deserve to find one. We're diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in American coin history, the 1969 D. Lincoln penny. A coin so ordinary, yet one rare version is worth up to $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that could make you a millionaire overnight. So grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. In 1969, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, more than 4 billion to be exact. They were small copper coins featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, nothing special. Just another penny for your pocket. But hidden among those billions of coins, a handful were struck with something so unique, so shocking, that collectors today would pay fortunes to own one. To understand why, let's rewind for a moment. In 1969, the United States Mint was struggling with die preparation issues. Dies are the metal stamps used to press the design into each coin. Sometimes, these dies would be duplicated or engraved incorrectly, and that's exactly where the story begins. Among all those 1969 pennies, a few coins were struck with a powerful error, a doubled die obverse. That means the entire front side of the coin, the words, the date, and even Lincoln's portrait, appeared doubled. Almost like a shadow. To the untrained eye, it might look like a simple blur. But to a coin collector? That's a jackpot. Now here's the twist. The most famous double-die penny from 1969 doesn't have a mint mark at all. It was made in Philadelphia. But the 1969 D version, the one made in Denver, has become one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever found. There are only a few verified examples of 1969 D Lincoln pennies with extremely rare die characteristics, and experts believe these few survivors were the result of an experimental die process that should never have made it to circulation. Collectors and historians have spent decades searching for them. Some experts say that the Denver Mint may have produced a few early test strikes before correcting the error, and those coins escaped into the world, into pockets, piggy banks, and old coin jars. Now here's where things get exciting. One of these rare 1969 D Lincoln pennies surfaced in a private collection and was authenticated by the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS. It was later valued at an incredible $1.5 million. All because of its one-of-a-kind doubling, flawless strike, and near-perfect condition. Imagine that. A coin that was once worth 1 cent, now worth more than a luxury home. Let's break it down. First, rarity. Fewer than 5 verified examples are known to exist in pristine condition. Second, the doubling effect on these coins is dramatic and unmistakable. The words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1969, all appear doubled, creating that ghost-like shadow collector's dream of finding. Third, historical significance. It represents a fascinating chapter in U.S. Mint history, when mechanical imperfections turned simple change into million-dollar treasures. Now, let's talk about how you can identify one. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and take a close look at your 1969 D Lincoln pennies. Start with the lettering. Liberty should appear thick, with a strong shadow just beside each letter. Then look at the date, especially the 9s, in 1969. If they look doubled or slightly split, you might be holding something extraordinary. But be careful. There are many machine doubling pennies out there, and they're worth little to nothing. Real doubled dies show clear, rounded, and distinct doubling, not flat or smeared lines. Next, check the mint mark. The D under the date should look sharp and perfectly placed. If the doubling doesn't affect the mint mark, that's a good sign you might have a true double die. The mint mark was punched separately, so if it's not doubled while the rest of the coin is, you may have found something extremely rare. If your coin looks promising, don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't try to make it shine. Cleaning can ruin its value instantly. Instead, place it in a protective holder and contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. They can determine whether your coin is genuine and give it an official grade, which can drastically increase its market value. Now imagine this. Someone could have a coin like this sitting unnoticed in an old coffee can, a drawer, or a coin jar. Every day, new discoveries happen. A penny found at a garage sale. A jar opened after decades. And suddenly, that 1-cent coin becomes a life-changing moment. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and the dream that something so small could hold unimaginable value. Even if you don't find the $1,000,000 penny, the search itself connects you to America's story. Every coin has a past. It's been through hands, decades, and memories. But some carry secrets that only a lucky few ever uncover. So the next time you see a 1969 D Lincoln penny, don't just spend it. Take a closer look. Because hidden in that small piece of copper could be a ticket to fortune, a piece of history worth $1.5 million. Remember, it only takes one coin to change everything. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins worth a fortune, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another treasure hunt. Because somewhere out there, a simple penny is waiting to make its next owner a millionaire.